were here the last time we were here 2 years ago.
I think they got rid of it. It looks like they got rid of the wave feature.
We were here 10 years ago.
I don't know why.
Well, we want to thank everybody for coming out. We're going to have such a great time tonight. We hope you enjoy it. But you know what? I was in the bus a little while ago and heard John Gorin and his band Gorali do that wonderful church mass. If you will, a round of applause for John and all those guys. What a crowd they did. Are you guys ready to party? Let's everybody do a little party.
We'll bring the music for your delight. Roll out the barrel, spread out the cheer. We'll play a polka for everyone here. Join in the party, join in the fun, singing and dancing till the evening's done. We'll drink a toast till the barrel runs dry. Let's have a party tonight.
We tour all over, and we're very fortunate to do that. Down in Texas, we're there in November. But you know, we always had the opportunity to get around Lafayette, Louisiana. It's not like it is here, but man, it's pretty cool. They get that Cajun music going, and it sounds so much like polka music. This next song happens to be one we heard. Frank Urbanowitz plays it, and we've got our accordion player, ladies and gentlemen, from downtown Syracuse, New York. Al Piatkowski. It's called Bayou Popo. very fortunate enough, not only have won 18 Grammy Awards, but we're like number 3, I think, in the all-time Grammy list, which makes us all proud of polka music. But you know, I got the idea not so long ago to, I read the book by the legendary Willie Nelson. He had a biography, and the first time I read it, I looked at it, it said, Willie Nelson, from his home state of Texas, started in a polka band. So I thought, man, if I ever get the opportunity to meet Willie Nelson, I'm going to ask him if he would like to record a polka with our orchestra. Sure enough, a while later we were playing together, and he was our closing act, by the way. Go slow, go slow. But anyway, I went up to Willie, right by the bus. I caught him coming around the corner. I said, Willie, would you ever consider recording some polka music with our orchestra? Willie stood there for a second, and he went, well, I'd like to do that. This happened to be the very first song Willie Nelson ever recorded with the Jimmy Sturr Band called The Tavern in the Town. What?
Sits some cows and drinks his wine till after 3, and never ever thinks of me. Where they will practice sleeping, you're not hard and breathing. Remember that the best of friends was part. I do kind friends that do. I can't no longer stay with you. I like my home on a weeping willow tree, and neither of the will with me. There is a tavern in the town, and there my children sits them down, and drinks his wine till after 3, and never ever thinks of me. Really what Christmas we do not have to find breathing. Remember that the best of friends was part. I do good friends that do. I can no longer stay with you. I hang my heart on a weeping willow tree, and neither of the will with me.
All right, thank you. How many people here happen to be Irish? You're here the wrong night. How about the German people? Well, you're almost here the wrong night too. However, listen up. How many here today starts with the big P? That's incredible. That many Portuguese people live here in Cheektowaga. I'm only kidding you. Ladies and gentlemen, how many people here happen to be Polish? Especially for you.
Żadzie dusza, tak jak twoje prawiny. Oczy śliczna,
to watch the Lawrence Welk television show. See, I knew not everybody here has television, do they? If you did, you watched Lawrence Welk. Everybody did, but we were very fortunate enough to have toured with the accordion player in the Lawrence Welk television show. His name was Myron Florin, and he had actually toured with our band for 21 years, and what an exciting man he was, and I'm sure you remember him from the television show. Well, to feature Myron as one accordion, we thought we're going to outdo that, and we're going to have two accordions. Ladies and gentlemen, Al Piatkowski, Ron Oswansky, and a song called Accordions on Fire! What? Live, nationwide, by the way, on the Polka Jammer Network, and hope that everybody listening on Polka Jammers enjoying this wonderful Saturday evening. And there's so many great programs on Polka Jammer. We'll tell you more about it when Keith comes back. In the meantime, there's a song that we recorded that we enjoyed so much. Johnny Karras sings it, and it's a song that happens to be a waltz. It's called Polish Traditions.
Old-fashioned Polish traditions, taught by my parents, who parents taught them years ago. Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła is something that we were all told. Those Polish traditions stay with me wherever I go. Polish traditions like sharing opłatek at Christmas, saying na zdrowie while toasting your family and friends. Lord, be willing to help who you can. Those Polish traditions make six where we used to go. Say dzień dobry to someone you really don't know. And how we are living a new part of our history. A brand new tradition of a poet that's finally free.
Are you ready? Put those hands together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you've seen this band many times when they come to Buffalo, New York. They're one of the all-time great rock and roll bands. They're known as the Great Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader of the Trans-Siberian, please welcome Chris.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Hey, we've got so many folks that are checking in with us on the Polka Jammer Network. We want to give a shout out to them. And so many folks that are here with us in the crowd that listen to the Polka Jammer on a regular basis. Like this whole family right here in the front row. We've got Stella, Joe, and Terry Vanoshik here with us. Great to have you here, and they're great supporters. She says she turns the jammer on in the morning and doesn't shut it off until she goes to sleep. God bless you. We appreciate that. Rick and Jen Poyanowski here with us from the Buffalo area. Eddie Rajewski here. Butch and Debbie Pajak. He's the limo operator to the Stars. You knew that, Jimmy, right? Also, the Karras family. Karen and Jim, Donna and Bob, Carolyn, Dimitri, Ashley, Brian, and the entire Birdsey family. They're all here and listening to us as well. Also, we want to say hello to Ricky and Susie Crew back listening to us in Buffalo. Tyler Zavatsky and also the Buffalo Concertina All-Stars who played here yesterday. Greg Schweidock and the whole group who were here. Let's have a nice round of applause for them. They did a great job yesterday. And over in the other tent there, you've got special delivery entertaining all afternoon here as well. Let's hear it for those Buffalo bands. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one of the great stars that we have with us this evening here in person as well as on the Jammer is John Gora. Born in Poland, John immigrated to Hamilton, Ontario with his family in 1974 and began playing music at the Orchard Park Secondary School in Stony Creek, Ontario. In 1979, Gora formed a trio playing local Canadian Legion halls and catering to continental music groups. John Gora and his six-piece band was established in 1990 and recorded his first polka CD, Ready for Takeoff, and they received 4 Grammy nominations. John and the band have won numerous favorite recordings for favorite song, favorite band, favorite male vocalist. He's here today. I refer to him as Canada's folk ambassador. Let's hear it for Mr. John Gora.
Kocham, ja cię lubię, ale nie domasz po ślubie. Oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, ale nie domasz po ślubie. Oj dana, oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, ale nie domasz po ślubie. Oj dana, ożenił się stary z młodą, pocztował jej lecę brodą. Oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, pocztował jej lecę brodą. Oj dana, oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, pocztował jej lecę brodą. Oj dana. Here we go. She needs a dance partner. Come on, guys. Ja całuję tak jak Kerol, wszystkie panny diabli biorą. Oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, wszystkie panny diabli biorą. Oj dana, oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, wszystkie panny diabli biorą. Oj dana, wczoraj dałaś dobrej wody, dzisiaj mówi, że ją boli. Oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, dzisiaj mówi, że ją boli. Oj dana, oj dana, dana, oj dana, oj dana, dzisiaj mówi, że ją boli. Oj dana. Here's a song called Alkin Goes, loves to sing. Czerwona róża trojaka, czerwona róża trojaka, miałam ja męża pijaka, miała se męża pijaka. Czerwona róża trojaka, miała se męża pijaka, miała se męża pijaka. Co nic nie robił, tylko pił. Co nic nie robił, tylko pił. Przyszedł do domu i mnie pił. Przyszedł do domu i ją pił. Co nic nie robił, tylko pił. Przyszedł do domu i ją pił. Przyszedł do domu i ją pił. Hej, ja! This song tells a story. Full version. Czerwona róża, jabłowiec. Czerwona róża, jabłowiec. Lepszy kawaler niż wdowiec. Lepszy kawaler niż wdowiec. Czerwona róża, jabłowiec. Lepszy kawaler niż wdowiec. Lepszy kawaler niż wdowiec. I wdowiec pije, kartuje. Wdowiec pije, kartuje. Kawaler ściska, całuje. Kawaler ściska, całuje. Wdowiec pije, kartuje. Kawaler ściska, całuje. Kawaler ściska, całuje. Dziękuję,
Ladies and gentlemen, John Gora. John, good to see you. I haven't seen you in quite some time. Man, that's a great song. You put together a wonderful song. But you know, I just listened to actually the LP or CD, I should say, that won all the awards for the IPA. And all of it is good, but there's one song on that album that just tears me apart. and it happens to be a song that I hope you'll be able to sing it. It's a song that's called Mother and Father's Waltz.
You know what? We gotta honor our moms and dads. That's why this song we recorded. Cherish the good moments that you had with your parents. Always pray for them and keep them here and in your heart.
Mamę i tatusia, gdy widzę ich obraz, to wszystko mnie wzrusza. O, jak pięknie mamusia mnie modlić uczyła, a tatuś doradzał, co Polska znaczyła. Tatuś i mamusia już powiedzą wiele. Tatuś i mamusia nie wrócą do mnie. Tatuś i mamusia już powiedzą wiele. Tatuś i mamusia nie wrócą do mnie. Bo nikt nie wie, jak wiele nam życia zostało. Kochajmy się wszyscy, byle nie za mało. Ja nie lubię się chwalić, lecz tym razem muszę, bo miałem rodziców najlepszych na świecie. Sing along if you know the word. Tatuś i mamusia już powiedzą wiele. Tatuś i mamusia nie wrócą do mnie. Tatuś i mamusia już powiedzą wiele. Tatuś i mamusia nie wrócą do mnie. Play it, boys! Here we go! I got it, see? One day I'll be like Jimmy Sturr. Let me tell you in English. I often keep thinking about mom and my father, 'cause those two dear people touched me like no other. They nurtured and guided my life from beginning, and showed me that life is not always about winning. My mother and father already in heaven. My mother and father looking from above. My mother and father pray for us in heaven. And we need it. My mother and father, there's no greater love. Sing it again, here we go. Tatuś i mamusia
Kuya. God bless you.
Wow, is that a spiritual? John, thank you so much. What a wonderful job, and what a great song that is. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, from the Polka Jammer Network, here's Keith Strauss.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. How about one more time for John Gora? Fantastic. You know, I have to tell you, this past Monday, my dad was buried, and that song has such true meaning to us and our entire family. John, from the bottom of our hearts, Jane Kuya, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you that the Polka Jammer Network is on 24/7, 365 days a year, and you can tune in by going to Alexa or the TuneIn app, or just go to polkajammernetwork.org and join us there, and you can get us on your smartphone. We have an app you can download. Take us with you wherever you go. If you enjoy polka music like you're hearing this evening, well, we invite you to tune us in. It's polkajammernetwork.org or WPJN.com. WPJNDB.com. Jimmy is heard every Saturday night at 6 o'clock Eastern. And of course, once again on Sunday morning at 11. Yours truly, I'll be on next Sunday, the first Sunday of the month, right there on Polka Jammer Network. All right, back to Jimmy Sturr and his 18-time Grammy Award-winning orchestra.
You know, Keith, you don't hear in polka bands anymore, you don't hear too much of a trombone. We like to feature our trumpet player, Bill Ash. Bill plays a great trombone. We hope you'll enjoy this song. It's called The Sharpshooters Polka. What? was. He happened to be in New York City at Carnegie Hall recording a live album. From that album came this song. It's called Sing, Sing, Sing. Not only here around Cheektowaga, Buffalo, which is a beautiful area. One of my favorites happens to be down the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. It doesn't get any prettier than down in that area. There's a song that they wrote about that area. Jim Perry is featured on this. It happens to be his arrangement. Of course, the song is called Shenandoah.
Jamie, we've got some more people who are chiming in here, listening to us on the Polka Jammer Network, as well as here at the town park. We also want to say hello to Jerry and Jerry Solivoda here with us in the crowd. Lesson Ellis Kapuczynski, the man with the golden eye, the great photographer, the Evanuchiks, Ted Janovich. I'm sorry, Ted, but you're here. Matt and Elaine are listening to us back in Chicago. Anita Goronsky, the president of the Jimmy Sturr fan club, and Sophie and Paul Petruha, who are listening to us out in New Jersey, and also to Sue and Bill Morgan, listening to us in Parsippany, New Jersey. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this next gentleman is a, yes.
Keith, I got another one. There's a lady that's listening in New Jersey. Her name is Mrs. Piella. She today is celebrating her 102nd birthday. Wow. She's listening to the show tonight. Isn't that nice?
Happy birthday. Nice. Hey, our next guest is from Tonawanda, a true prince of a man. Joe Michalak was born in Niagara Falls in 1935. As a matter of fact, last week he celebrated his 87th birthday.
Oh my.
And this week celebrated his 65th wedding anniversary. Joe was inducted into the Polka Music Hall of Fame in 2018. You might remember him seeing him on TV on WGR right here in Western New York. Buffalo's Pick a Polka. Here comes the Polka Prince, Joe Michalak.
You know, Joe's favorite band happened to be my favorite band. Growing up, there was a guy that was on Joe's television show many times right here in the Buffalo area. He came from Bridgeport, Connecticut, and of course Frankie Yankovic was known as the King of Polka, but there's no doubt that this man was a Polish King of Polka. His name happened to be Frank Wojnarowski. What a band he had. And I don't know whether many of you remember Frank Wojnarowski or not, but anyway, we recorded a bunch of Frank songs, and one of my favorites happened to be one of Joe's favorites. He liked to sing it. Here's a song that Frank wrote. It's called Bad Joe Polka.
Oh, yeah.
Just for me.
Ciężki los na ciebie już czeka. Ciężki los na ciebie już czeka. Nie chce mi się robić, nie chce mi się robić, bo moja żoneczka wciąż narzeka. Nie chce mi się robić, nie chce mi się robić, bo moja żoneczka wciąż narzeka. Żona lata krzyczy mi podłogi, żona lata krzyczy mi podłogi, a ja sobie biorę kapelusz do ręki i uciekam sobie dalej w nogi. A ja sobie biorę kapelusz do ręki i uciekam sobie dalej w nogi.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you and all we know enjoy this wonderful Saturday. Great little city, Cheektowaga, New York. On behalf of John, Cora, and everybody, of course, Joe Michelik and everybody, we want to thank you so much for listening in on this wonderful evening. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Keith?
Thank you, Eddie Dobershevitz. Thank you, Chainsaw Rick Rizzuto. We'll see you back here on the Jammer. Goodbye, everybody. So long from Cheektowaga.
Oh my God! Wow! Awesome! Wow!
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, Joe Michelik. Isn't he wild? Brings back some great memories, Joe. Thank you so much. We're going to take a real short intermission, and during that time, over on your right-hand side, we have some new CDs, T-shirts, and a whole bunch of other things. Take a look at them. We'll be back with lots more music.
I want to say
Let's hear Jimmy Sturr and his orchestra. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Don't forget, there's plenty of room for dancing, plenty of things to eat, plenty of things to see here. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us on the Polka Jammer Network.
I just want to say thanks to everybody that joined us on this video of the broadcast. Some of you, if you were listening at home on the Polka Jammer Network, you got to hear this fantastic, and I mean fantastic audio. I'm blown away right now, especially with the appearances by John Goda as well as by Joe Michelik. I mean, this brings back so many memories of these older bands with some of these songs, and it was great that he was able to come out and appear. So Jimmy, like he's saying, is taking a break. The Jammercast is over. If any of you joined this broadcast late into it, it will be up on Facebook as where you can watch it over again. I'm very bad with responding while trying to video, as it was just trying to video this was incredible. When I get a break later on, I'll go on and reply back to you. And believe me, thank you very much for tuning in to this cast. And we'll be back live and when Jimmy gets back from the break.